Coronavirus pandemic log number 1. Today's March 30th. I've been in quarantine since March 11th, and I didn't think to start daily vlogging this until right now. But so much has happened. I think that my story is very interesting, and I think it will continue to get interesting as time goes along. So I began March 11th, so this is, 19 days of quarantine? Currently, I am in my own house in quarantine with no self-control. And every day, I'd like to give you a look into what I'm doing that day, but today I want to just catch you up on everything that's happened from the beginning of quarantine to now, so you kind of know where I'm at. The beginning of the whole pandemic, really. So back in like November, December, January, when you were hearing about this in China and whatnot, it seemed like something very, very far away, something that would never, ever come to the United States. But here it is, you know? Everyone just kind of lived their lives normally. I remember at the beginning of March, I saw the first sign that things are about to go crazy. I was at Knott's Berry Farm. I have an annual pass there, so I have this annual pass holder cup, this soda cup, that you can refill for free. So you hand them the cup, and they refill it, right? So this particular day in early March, they would not take my cup. They gave me a disposable cup instead to use. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty weird. That was the first sign that anyone was actually taking it seriously. And that was when I was starting to hear about people on Twitter saying that all the toilet paper was being grabbed up at all the grocery stores. There was no toilet paper anywhere. And I was like, there's no way that that's true. Probably in a couple locations maybe, but like, there's no way that that's true. And then next time I went to Walmart to actually get food, just as a normal Walmart trip, there really was no toilet paper on the shelves. There was 2 bundles of toilet paper. I grabbed the last 2. I should have grabbed more, thinking back on it. And then a couple days after that, it was March 11th. Now, the week of March 11th, I had planned to hang out with my friends that weekend. No Self-Control was part of that group that was supposed to hang out. But her parents were putting her under a lockdown, under quarantine. I thought that was crazy. I thought it was absolutely crazy. I thought it was going way too far. Because at that time, there was panic buying happening, but there was only a handful of cases of coronavirus in the United States. So I thought that that was a bit of an overreaction, like I thought everything was. At that point, Disneyland and Disney World and Disneyland Paris were still open. Many schools were still open and still in session. Restaurants hadn't closed down yet. You could actually go walk inside of a McDonald's. Things that seem so crazy now, but it was just so normal, part of everyday life just a few weeks ago. So I thought it was a little bit crazy to go under full lockdown like that. But I had planned to hang out that weekend with some friends, and I was invited to join the lockdown. But the rule was, if I leave, I can't go back. I'm allowed to join in with the lockdown with no self-control. But if I leave, I can't go back, because if I leave, I might pick up coronavirus somewhere. I decided to do it because what else was I going to do that weekend if all my friends were not going to hang out anyway? The thing we were going to go do that weekend anyway was canceled. So I pack up enough stuff that I think I would need for 4 days. I thought I would be there for no more than 4 days. And I vastly underestimated that number of days because I'm still in quarantine now, just in a different location. But I got there and a couple days pass. I'm checking the World Health Organization number reports because I thought that it was a bit of an overreaction still at that point. The numbers were rather low. I'm looking at it right now. According to the World Health Organization, on March 11th, there was only 696 coronavirus cases in the United States. I thought it was a huge overreaction. Today, on March 30th, there are 122,653. And that number is exponentially rising. In the past 24 hours, there's been 19,332 cases, new cases. So around March 11th, a couple days, that was the day I entered quarantine. A couple days after that, everything started getting canceled. Many conventions I wanted to go to had been postponed or canceled. E3 was canceled. VidCon was canceled. Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, they were all closed. Everything just started closing. Restaurants closed, McDonald's closed, everything. Everything is drive-through or pickup only now. The entire world just changed in just a few days. It was really wild to see. At that point, I still thought it was all a big overreaction because none of the numbers being reported had been worse than swine flu or any other crazy pandemic that we've lived through in the past where I feel like everyone overreacted a little bit. But this one is different in that it hasn't slowed down since then. I was planning on staying in quarantine there for only 4 days or so. That turned into 2 weeks. And then we left there and came to my house. We've been here almost a week now. And it's showing no signs of ending anytime soon, really for at least the next 30 days, if not, I believe, the rest of the year. So the reason that No Self-Control was put on a strict lockdown, because No Self-Control still lives with her parents and everything, is because her grandpa is in the age range where coronavirus is pretty darn deadly. So it was really a measure to protect her grandpa, right? So why did we leave and come to my house instead? Because her grandpa decided to go to a doctor's appointment that was completely unnecessary. Walking into a building with people who have coronavirus, being treated for coronavirus. It was at a hospital, which is where there's coronavirus patients. You know, we're in California, which is one of the places where it's being hit hardest with coronavirus. When we learned that he went to a doctor's appointment, we literally had to pack up everything and head to my house before he got back so that we wouldn't be exposed to potential coronavirus. So that's why that abrupt change has happened. Now, while we were there under strict lockdown, we were able to go to the beach, get in the car, go to the beach. As long as you don't go near anyone, it should be fine. So that's what we did. We went to the beach. We even went to my house to pick up a few things, which is a pretty far drive. But once again, as long as you don't get out of the car and go near people, you should be fine. So we were able to do stuff like that. But really, we hardly left the house. I maybe drove twice that entire time I was there. We could go outside to take walks, but we didn't leave the house really to do much ever. I started to go a little bit crazy. So coming here has made me start to go less crazy, which is good. I feel like I'm back in my element a little bit. Seems like I'm going to be stuck here for a while longer. It's been only a week since No Self-Control's grandpa went to the doctor's appointment. Really, you're supposed to wait 2 weeks, but No Self-Control is heading home tomorrow. I will be driving her home and driving back to my house. So I'll be by myself for the next who knows how long. And my birthday is on Thursday, which is 3 days from now. So I'll be celebrating my birthday in quarantine, which is always exciting. So that kind of gets you up to date of where I am now, what we've been doing this whole time. I really wish I would have been recording all of it because it's been an interesting journey. But starting today, I'm gonna do daily vlogs. I hate saying that phrase because it's so stupid, but I'm gonna be doing daily vlogs of my life under coronavirus. I think there's some interesting stuff to show you. Tomorrow I can show you my daily schedules, daily routine, show you what I do in the morning, how I get my work done, all that stuff, what food I eat under quarantine, all that stuff. It'll be interesting. I think that it's a historical event that needs to be documented. Definitely want to have it for my own memories, that's for sure, that nothing like this probably will ever happen again in my life. So if you're interested in seeing that, please subscribe, turn on the notifications. I think that you'll enjoy this ride with me. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I have some predictions to share in terms of what's going to happen. I'll share those with you in a future episode tomorrow or the next day or whatever. There's a lot to talk about, but I want to save it for future episodes. I think that's been enough for this one, just the story of what's happened so far. Now that being said, I think we're getting restless, so we're gonna go on a walk. I'll bring you with me. We can check out the town, see what's going on. So we've come out here to the park during the pandemic because we wanted to see what it's like. We wanted to see what the world is like while we're on a walk, right? So follow me this way and we'll take a look. This is real moment in history. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So I never come out here, so I don't really know how full these tables normally would be, but there's hardly anyone here. There are 2 playgrounds here. Both of them are quarantined off with caution tape. It's literally like straight out of a movie, really, honestly. It's just so dystopian to see this. Look at that, they have the swings all tied up on the top there. Attention, to help prevent the spread of coronavirus, COVID-19, playground equipment closed until farther notice. This is like straight out of a movie. This is like Contagion in real life. If you've ever seen that movie, it's very interesting. I didn't really realize that it was to this level yet. I mean, I knew everyone was staying inside. I knew quarantine was happening, but I didn't know that it was like literally caution taping off playgrounds. That's kind of crazy. There's still quite a few people just milling about here, which is kind of amazing. This is some of the few hours of daylight that I get in my life is going on walks. Otherwise, it's just spent all inside. It's not how I typically live. I typically go out and about in sunny California, drive around, go places, go to Hollywood, Los Angeles, all these different places. This is so unlike what I'm used to. And it's right after I moved here, of course. So if I'm gonna be spending all my time inside, what's the point of even having moved here? You know what I mean? It's getting to that point. It's kind of crazy. Today is March 30th, by the way. Just a reminder, we are well into this. There's still so many people around. Everyone I'm seeing, though, is being safe about it. Everyone is more than 6 feet apart from each other, at least. There's no people who are not in the same family going up to each other, getting really close. So it is safe to be outside. It is safe to be out and about as long as you maintain distance. But I am still shocked at the number of people here at this park. It is quite crazy. One thing that's interesting, I was going to walk over and show this exercise equipment that's caution taped off. You have that, you have the 2 playgrounds caution taped off as well. But it looks like there's still soccer practice happening right there. What a terrible idea. Getting kids that close to each other. Soccer it's not a distance sport like tennis is. I mean, you run into people in soccer and stuff like that. I just think that's kind of crazy that that's still happening. Here's another little playground that is caution taped off right now. It's kind of crazy to see this. I thought that this was the exercise equipment because there's a sign over there that says that due to COVID-19, they're not allowing people to use exercise equipment. I don't know if this is what they're referring to as that. I guess you could consider this exercise. From a distance, it looks like these are like, you know, exercise equipment you would find in gyms and stuff like that, but it looks to be just a playground. I'm not rotating around to give you a better look because, of course, you want to maintain your distance from people at least 6 feet away. So now I can. It's just something totally out of a dystopian movie. If World War III does not happen, this is probably going to be the craziest global event that happens in my lifetime, possibly, and possibly your lifetime. Also, look at this thing over here. This is a cell phone tower in the middle of the park that I literally didn't even realize was a cell phone tower until I looked at it and then looked up. That's pretty interesting. As we approach the other side of the park, there's more stuff that's been caution taped off. Pretty much anything that resembles playground equipment has been caution taped off, but things like benches have not been. Pretty interesting. And all the tables over there were not caution taped off also. It's just weird. There's so many people out and about, running around, walking around, and it seems like we're the only people actually actively trying to avoid going within 6 feet of people. Like, we're walking on the side of the street without a sidewalk because we want to avoid all the people. I guarantee you if we had not crossed the street, that whole family would have just run right past us as if nothing was going on. It kind of amazes me how little people care. You know, seeing all these people out and about, it makes me think of one thing that I think is very interesting, is that you literally have to be told by the government to not go outside and be forced to not go outside for everyone to listen to it. Otherwise, people will just do it anyway. It's one thing to go outside and be safe about it, but the thing is, most people are not being safe about it. You know, as long as you stay away from everyone, it's fine, but that's not what I'm really seeing happen. It's kind of crazy. It's just amazing that as a species, we are so dumb that we literally have to be told by someone with authority over us how to save our lives. It's kind of stupid. I think it's dumb. Look how many cars there are. This is in LA County, which right now has a stay-at-home order. It is not an official lockdown. You're not going to get arrested for being outside. You're not going to get fined for being outside, but they sent what is like an Amber Alert to everyone's phone saying, hey, you need to stay inside. No travel unless it's necessary. Look at all the cars. God, this is so weird. I wish that you all understood and that I was recording the entire time we've been quarantined, because this is the closest we've been to actual civilization. We can't even press the freaking button to cross the street because that is unsafe to do. So I've been wanting to go in a gas station and just buy a freaking Monster Energy drink this whole time, and it's right there, and I can't go in because coronavirus. This really is like one of the strangest times to be alive. I feel like I'm walking on an alien planet right now. I feel like my home is like the airtight location I'm supposed to be, and that going outside is deadly unless you're wearing a full spacesuit, you know what I mean? It's so weird, it's so strange. Every time we see people walking towards us on the sidewalk, we have to do what I call the coronavirus shuffle, which is where we walk into the middle of the freaking street, and that's where we walk because you can't share the sidewalk anymore. You'll come within 6 feet of someone. We might be about to do it right now. Let's do it. We might as well just go all the way across. The coronavirus shuffle, woo! When it comes to water, the tap water here has a filter on it, so I'm good with water. As long as this filter lasts, which I can always reset it and use it multiple times, I have clean water. I also have 6 gallons of water in my car as well.
I need a haircut.
Yeah, no, I do too, honestly. So you've been in quarantine with me for 19 days, because I've been in quarantine for 19 days with you, both at your house and here. You're about to leave tomorrow. We're waking up at 7 a.m. and we're leaving here at 7 a.m. so we're waking up earlier than that. What are your thoughts on just everything that's happened?
It's been a rough 2 weeks, man. It's been over 2 weeks, actually. It's been pretty rough. Ripped my fursuit apart, you know. It's a time.
Are you excited to be able to be by yourself for a little bit?
Well, I don't even get to be alone when I go home because my parents are still quarantining away from my grandpa. So we're all having to like share a room together. So I don't even get to be alone when I go home.
How long is that gonna last?
I think like 3 or 4 days or something.
and then you'll be able to go back to your room and
Yep.
live normally again?
Yep.
What are you going to do once you're able to do that?
Put them back together.
When we were at your house, you were still able to at least get some work done because
Yeah.
you're in school right now. You do work as a fursuit maker, and you have not been able to do that while being at my house. What has it been like both being able to work and not being able to work? What's the difference
Well,
been?
I liked being at my house because there's like multiple rooms. I could go do this, go do that. Whereas like staying here, it's not my place, and it's also like a studio, so I can't like go anywhere or do anything. I've kind of just been sitting here drawing and playing video games, which like yeah, it sounds fun, but doing it like for 8 hours a day for like 7 days straight, it gets kind of gets to you. But I definitely prefer being at home, just not in the current situation we're dealing with.
For context, this is what my place looks like. It's a mess, please don't judge. But like that's the bed, and like right over here is where I film and do all my work and everything like that. Then over here is the kitchen. And then there's the bathroom. It's like a hotel room. It's very small. What are your predictions for this whole thing? How long do you think it's going to last? Do you think people are overreacting right now? Do you think they're underreacting? What is just your overall take on the whole thing?
I don't even want to think about how long it's going to last because I know it's going to be way longer than I want it to be. So I just want to take it day by day because thinking about it just like stresses me the fuck out.
Yeah, that's good advice because when you think about it as like, oh, I'm going to be here for the next 30 days, it kind of
hurts.
Yeah, but if you just take it day by day and you're like, today I'm doing this, don't even worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
It does kind of help a little bit.
It does. So I kind of prefer just to not even think about it. Like the whole coronavirus talk, it's kind of getting to me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I had to like get away from it for a while. I know I can't like completely ignore it, but you know, I like to have my 2 hours, you know, it's like my 2 hours where I can like pretend like everything's okay, you know, even if I'm at home, can't go anywhere, it helps.
Has the isolation made you go crazy? And if so, what are your methods for dealing with it?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's made me go crazy. I'd say more like being in isolation, I don't really want to do anything because I can't do anything. So really, I just want to like sleep all the time and be on my phone. Like I'm not as like into doing things as much as I usually am, just because I'm just stuck, I guess.
What advice do you have for people who are about to be quarantining? Because we've been doing this way longer than most people have. What advice do you have for them?
Just take it day by day. Don't think like 30 days. Just think today. Maybe give yourself a schedule. That helped me a lot, but then I kind of got shaken up again, so I can't even use my schedule. But
because we had to move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, schedules definitely help. So if you set out like, oh, I'm gonna eat at this time, and then I'm gonna take a break at this time, I'm gonna work at this time. It kind of gives you things to look forward to throughout the day.
It's going to be interesting to have you leave.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting not having you around.
Maybe it'll make me go more crazy being by myself.
I don't
Or
know.
maybe it'll make me go less crazy. I don't know.
There's only one way to find out.
We've both been doing this for so long that I feel like we're both a shell of our normal selves.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't you think so?
I have not been myself at all.
I feel really hollow. I think that you would say the same.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like when people say that they go to McDonald's. That's like so foreign to me at this point. We haven't even been doing it for that long.
Well, it's been 20 days for me. Or 21, something like that.
And I'm on day 19. That's not even that long, and it already feels like the entire world is just changed. There's going to be lots of time to talk coming up here. I'll need this to keep my sanity. I'll need to talk to someone, even if it's a camera. So if you would like to stay along, watch me go crazy, please subscribe, hit the bell. Isn't that right?
Yep.
How has Animal Crossing changed the way that you've been quarantining?
Dude, it's like I can go outside. I can go to the store in Animal Crossing. It's like experiencing the real world, but like furries.
We had a lot of stuff planned for the weekend that we went into quarantine.
Yeah.
And for the entire summer. Like, I was definitely going to go to E3 and I was going to bring you with me. I was going to go to VidCon. There were so many, like, furry conventions that have been postponed, canceled. So much stuff has just been canceled or postponed. What do you make of all that?
It fucking sucks, because, like, during the spring and the summer, there's, like, all these events I make plans for, all these events I go to, and no, every single one has been canceled. Like, I just heard that Pride got canceled, because I'm supposed to, like, help run a float for that, and I don't know, it's just a mess. Like, everything I was excited for this year, I can't do, so it's like, I don't know, it just sucks.
And you're also in school right now, in college.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Basically we switched to online school. It's really weird because, like, I have a workout class where you actually go to a gym and you work out and it logs your hours. Like, you don't work out at home, you have to go to that gym and they track your hours in the computer. So now we're just working out from home, and I guess it's just, they just trust that you actually do it. You fill out a little journal. So that'll be interesting. My animal behavior class, basically, she's just uploading everything online, like the lectures, the tests, so it's all just online now.
What about the food situation? We've been eating pretty normally, but we did just run out of milk, we ran out of butter, we ran out of cheese, we ran out of bacon, we ran out of bread.
Yeah.
And we can't just go to the store to get all those things. We can once we go, like, when we actually need to go, but all visits to the grocery store I feel like should be limited to only when you absolutely need to go. So what do you think of that?
I mean, it, like, even simple things like going to a grocery store, you know, I would always be like, my mom would ask me, oh, you want to leave the house today? Let's go to the grocery store. And I'd be like, that's fucking boring. I don't want to go to the grocery store, you know? But now it's like, I would fucking kill to go to a grocery store just to see something that isn't the inside of a house that I'm stuck in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I guess a lot of it has me realize, like, how much I take for granted, you know? But, yeah, it's just so weird that you could, like, die going to the grocery store, you know?
We are both Knott's Berry Farm annual pass holders.
Yeah.
I'm a Disneyland annual pass holder as well. What do you make of all the parks getting shut down? Everything like that.
Dude, I fucking miss Knott's Berry Farm. Like, I would go right now, honestly. Like, every time I'd come to your house, it would be like, oh, let's go to Knott's Berry Farm, you know? But my biggest concern is, what if they don't, like, what if they reopen it in a few months and they're like, oh, that's too bad for the annual pass holders. Like, you know, I paid money for that pass. I hope they, like, give us an extra few months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What would you say to, like, future generations watching this?
I would say, I hope it never happens to you. Like, I wouldn't even wish it upon my worst enemy, but, I mean, I guess we're all going through it right now, so, yeah, I hope it never happens again.
It's crazy. It seems like the whole world was normal
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
Even, like, 2 weeks ago, everything was normal, except for our life, because of my mom.
Yep.
But, yeah, everything is just, like, there's a fucking, what was it, like an Amber Alert or something
Mm-hmm.
for LA saying all the beaches and piers and trails are closed. It's so weird.
Thank you for your time answering questions. But hey, hopefully it'll be all over soon. I think it will be. Right now it's currently 6:47 p.m. The kitchen is a mess, but I want to cook dinner. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? You're not hungry, but I'm very hungry. So, when we left your house, we were given a box full of food, lots of food.
Yes.
And we have some of it up here. The Maruchan ramen, all this stuff. But what I'm interested in for tonight is we have this beautiful meat. We have no bread. We have no cheese. We have no butter. We have no milk. I think I'm gonna cook this and just literally eat it as just plain meat. Of course, I can season it and whatnot. This isn't really good for burgers anyway, because it's 96% lean, 4% fat. That's way too lean for burgers, but it's really good not on burgers. But we really have to conserve food. We have no more snacks. No snacks. We can only eat meals now. We do have apples. We do have a couple apples. Those can be snacks.
But that's too healthy for you.
I'll have an apple later. This counts as a meal. This counts as a meal. 2 corn dogs counts as a meal. One burger patty counts as a meal. We gotta conserve these things. So I was about to cook, but you said something very interesting. What was it?
I've already had like 3 people hit me up for fursuit commissions because of that government money.
What do you think of that? You think that's crazy or what?
I mean, I get money, so that's not my problem.
Yeah, there's a huge stimulus bill that was passed. If you don't know, then you're uninformed as hell. But it was a $6 trillion bill, I believe, where everyone in America basically is going to get at least $1,200 something. Families will get more, small business owners will get more, some salaries will be paid, hourly wages will be paid, a lot of things are happening that's very good. And I feel like a lot of people are just going to blow all that on stuff like a fursuit. So I've been making some pretty good food. I've been making garlic butter to spread on some buns, toast them, make garlic buns out of it for cheeseburgers. We've been having some really nice food, but we did just a few days ago, it seems like all at the same time, run out of buns, we've run out of bread, we've run out of butter, we've run out of milk, all the essentials. So I'm literally gonna cook meat and just meat. Going to the grocery store just for things to add on to it is not safe to do right now. It's not safe to go out in public like that near a bunch of people, so I'm literally just gonna cook meat. I've been cooking on a griddle rather than a pan. I don't know why, there's just more space to cook on. I really like it, especially when you're making pancakes for like 2 people. You can do it all at the same time. Bacon, eggs, all that stuff all at the same time. We did run out of bacon also, so check out this slab of meat. Oh man, I'm about to season it with some pink Himalayan salt, some pepper, and chives. You don't normally put chives on meat, but yeah, I'm gonna experiment with it, you know what I mean? Look at that. This is gonna be maybe good, I guess? I don't know. Never quite made meat like this before because I'm an inexperienced chef, but I'm building that experience slowly. Literally never thought I'd just be making a slab of meat just because that's all we have. Coronavirus, woo, nothing left. Pink Himalayan sea salt. We're going to season one side. You're gonna use way more than you think you need. This is how you season burgers also, because when you cook, like 80% of it goes away. Pepper. Once again, way more than you think you would ever need. Chives, this is experimental. I don't really know that I would actually do this if I were you, but I'm gonna just kind of sprinkle a little bit of chives on here. It adds a nice flavor to everything it goes on, so why not? Now, before we flip it over and do the other side, we're going to massage the meat. We're gonna massage the spices into the meat. That is how you do it.
He's gonna massage his meat.
Yes. Normally I'd use butter, but guess what? We don't have is butter. So I'd use this spray stuff here to keep the meat from sticking. It is butter flavored, so take this slab. Boom.
Aren't you gonna like break it up or anything?
Nope.
You're just gonna cook it like
Cooking it as if it's a giant burger.
Alright everybody, this is Chef PK Russell.
This is called meat slab.
Gourmet slab of meat. This is what it's come to.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's 11:39 p.m., March 30th, 2020. Day 19 of quarantine for myself. And this is episode 1 of the daily vlog. According to World Health Organization statistics, globally there are 693,224 confirmed cases, up from yesterday's 634,813. The United States of America has 122,653 cases today. Yesterday it was 103,321 cases. That's a growth of 19,332 cases in just a day. It was announced either today or yesterday during one of the daily press conferences that the president has been doing that the coronavirus guidelines would be extended by 30 days, basically through the end of April, whereas before he was saying he wanted to open the whole country back up by Easter. I have a feeling myself that that's going to be extended all the way until 2021, if not farther, unless one of two things happens, or both. There's a national lockdown that totally halts everything in its progress, or there's a vaccine. Only those two things will stop what's happening right now, because not everyone is going to stay inside. Not everyone's going to stay away from people. I believe that most people will ignore those guidelines. The smart people will not, like myself. But everyone who's not smart, which is most people, I hate to break it to you, they're not going to be doing the smart thing. So it really will take one of those two actions to really put a stop to everything that's happening. And until that happens, we're just going to see a continued rise in cases and deaths, and it's not going to stop. Today was rather uneventful. Not much happened in my life. No self-control is going home tomorrow. Big day. We gotta wake up early. Like, what, 5 a.m. or what time? Something crazy time. But it has to be done. Then it'll just be you and me for the rest of this whole time here. Welcome to my life. You'll be looking at it for the next many, many days. Coronavirus log, episode 1, has come to an end. If you like what I'm doing, please consider donating to my PayPal. Link in description down below. Thank you. Goodbye.